We're back with lights, camera, action, and begin when ready as the webinar. As part of the Up Your Online Game series, I want to say thank you to Tony and Mike and Karen. Thank you, Christo, and everybody who's there, Anna and Suzanne. Donkey Yellow Owens, I really appreciate that you're here tonight because we're having such a lot of fun and it is such fun information to share. I think that it always surprises me when I start thinking about the kind of things that I've learned in production and how very similar it is, but how unaware people could be of some of these principles and how it could really make your life a lot better. So I'm hoping that you find some good advice here that lands. Please do pop them into the chat room. I'd really love to hear any kind of feedback or anything that I can make better because we're all learning through this process all the time. Coming up in this segment of 21 minutes, I am going to not keep you longer than the 48. We're going to talk about streaming platforms a little bit. I want to share some information in that space and then something that I call the big switcheroo, which is how to make a seamless transition happen for your audience so that you almost make them unaware of the next thing that's happening. I love that space to play in because I think it is a lot like magic and we may just get into some magic later. This is all stuff that can help you to get into the action long before the action starts. We're in that quadrant of, or the space of preparedness tonight in the presenter framework, and coming up in the next 7 minutes, I'm going to talk about a little bit of a platform overview. Look at some ideas around how do you pick your platform and also just about some cool applications that you could use that can enhance a presentation and really add great value because remember, we do all of this for our viewers. If we're not making it better for our viewers, then what are we doing anyway? In talking through some platforms, I wanted to talk through a quick comparison, I guess, of a few of the headline ones and the kind of situations that you get into when you stream to those live and how to select what it is that you need to do in the space that you're in. The first one I want to talk about a little bit is Zoom. And obviously a lot of people are using Zoom at the moment. And I still bump into people, surprisingly enough, who go into a Zoom room not knowing about breakout rooms, not understanding how I can participate, not understanding how to use a whiteboard and so the basics of it as we discuss it. Zoom is free for up to 40 minutes. You have to pay a $12 starting point monthly if you want to have as many as 10,000 participants. It really is a face-to-face participation. That really means that audience can participate and face-to-face we can talk to as many as 50 people at a time on a screen. And if you have a second screen or so, you could duplicate that and get more. Of course, I mentioned that it has ideas like breakout rooms and really great functioning timing devices so that you can split up your people, talk to them, get them back into the room again on time and keep it going in order to move. There are participative kind of elements. There are features such as raising your hands, and obviously there's a chat box as well. The one dilemma is I think it's a bit of a downfall because there's a downloadable, or you have to download the app before you can use it. And sometimes if you very quickly or late want to jump in to do something, there's this situation that you have to download it and it sort of crashes computers and stuff. It's annoying, but it's a great platform. And the next one I want to talk about is Microsoft Teams. Now, I'm not a fan at all of Microsoft, I can tell you. This is free for people who have 365 and up to 100 participants you can have for 60 minutes before you need to pay or figure out something else. It is face-to-face participation, similar to Zoom, and it has all the breakout rooms. It has, in many ways, even more plugins and integrations and stuff. I find it personally a little bit clunky. It's not as intuitive to get around, and on the free version, you can't record. Most of the time, if you're going to work with corporates, they're going to find that that is something they subscribe to because they have Microsoft, because their IT people feel comfortable with the security, and also I think some of it is a little bit of jazz, but you can't help it. If that's what the client wants, you give Lola what Lola wants. I'm going to talk about WebinarJam next, which is up to $9.99 per year. It's quite a steep license, and this is what we're using here. But I do love it. I think you can have as many as 5,000 viewers, and it is more of a one-to-many platform. So it is a narrow casting platform. You can have up to 6 people at a time participate in a conversation as presenters, presenting the material. And you can up it. There are clever ways to work around it to switch people around. You can work up to 3 hours of a webinar. And I think the thing that I love the most about it is it has fantastic email integration. If you're going to talk to your audience and you want to build databases, I think it's fantastic because it really helps you to manage your database well. You can tell I'm a big fan. And then I think other things is like it's an EverWebinar replay version that it has as well, which means that you can see something after the fact. It's not gone, it's not invisible to people. You can send the link and viewers can still find your material, and it continues to be to build your database through that time. So it is a really lovely one. I think my number one reason for going to it was really just the compression. It has very low compression, it looks beautiful, it hardly ever has hiccups and problems that way. Once or twice we've had hang-ups and so, but you know, technology is going to go wrong, but it is a really, really lovely one, and I'm not even getting it free, no bonus for me, but I promote it. StreamYard is quite a nice one. It is up to $20 monthly. It's a one-to-many broadcast system as well, narrowcast. Multiple speakers up to 6. And what's really fabulous about this one is that you can have an inline studio. That means you almost have studio quality kind of graphics and things that you can drop in. You can have, while people ask you questions online, you can have their questions as tweets or as Facebook mentions. You can actually highlight and put into a bar on top of the superimposed on top of your visual, which is a fantastic thing. It can also multi-stream to multiple destinations, which is also a kind of cool thing, particularly if you're in a social media or space where you really want to have a wide net and get some information out there broadly. I think StreamYard is really fantastic. There's another one that sits in this exact same space, and that is Twitch. Twitch is free, can obviously broadcast to unlimited participants, one-to-many, excellent support system. It was originally developed by gamers for gamers, so it's a kind of a gaming platform for people to talk and share cheats and so primarily used for that. But it really is a very cool one. And again, depending on your audience, I'm not going to discount what YouTube is, you know, because YouTube is also free. If you are going to broadcast via mobile, in the early days when I tried it last year, because I have a Mevo camera, I needed to do it with my phone because Mevo broadcasts Wi-Fi through the phone into YouTube. And then for a YouTube account, you have to have 1,000 subscriptions. So it means that you have to get out there and get some viewers to subscribe, which I did. And I, luckily with a system, if you want to pop into the inbox how I did it, within 70 days I had 1,000 subscribers because I just really had to push it fast to try. I was part of a challenge and it was a lot of fun. Other notes about this system, you can have a highlights reel, you can edit your videos. You also have, obviously because of Google and the ownership, you've got search engine optimization. You can have a fabulous background that gets people to your sites and gets people watching your stuff. And if you are going to stream for the first time, remember that you have to activate the account some 24 hours before you're going to need it. The last one I'm going to talk about here is Facebook. I have tried and experimented during lockdown. It's not easy. It's a little tricky sometimes. It has unlimited viewers. Obviously, it's free. And again, it comes with search engine and stuff. I did a little test this afternoon, which I'm going to show you just now. And we literally had within 30 seconds of being live, 4 viewers watching, and it just happens that you catch people at the off moment and they're in, and you can take them along for the journey. Again, depending on the kind of use that you have for it. The thing to remember with Facebook is you cannot, it works best on Google Chrome as your, I can't get this word, it's not a server, it's a, Merit, you're going to have to shout that word. It's a platform. What is it? It's like a, what is, it's a, you've got blank as well. Everyone's blank on this side. So use Chrome when you do that. And then the other thing to remember is, a browser. Thank you. How can browser be so hard to find? And then, of course, the other thing for Facebook to keep in mind is just that It has low compression. Its sound is not always fantastic. It's a little bit fuzzy and sometimes it loses sync. Now, how do you pick and how do you decide? Well, the selection process, I think, is based on, for me, compression and sound, the quality, because I want good quality. And then you also are obviously going to have clients who have specific need. Sometimes you're going to have a client with an IT guy who says only Microsoft, you can use anything as long as Microsoft. And then, you know, protection, security, and so is a serious concern, of course. Ease of use, and other than that, I think you want to look at the features that it has and how those features can translate for you. So that's a quick run through of what it is. And online, once you get that tick that is for where you want to be, then you're going to be in the pound seats and you're ready to go with your platform. We're going to talk a little quickly about some cool tech that's out there and some really nice ideas that apps have that can bring an enormous amount of value. And the three that I wanted to mention very briefly for you is Thinkific. Something interesting about Thinkific, it's a learning management system, which means similar to what I'm using here. I'm doing a show, it has content. I cut that content out and put it into a learning management system with additional video clips and downloads and management. The nice part about Thinkific as a system like this is you can play integrations of WebinarJam and Zoom inside Thinkific, which means for students going the other way from starting on your learning management system, you can tap them into regular sessions that you do live through Zoom or WebinarJam, and you can use this to integrate your content really well. And that's something I love about it. Thinkific also offers a really great way to build your website and to interact with your audience and build your student base. Mentimeter, we've been using Mentimeter.com for some clients. It's a lovely system whereby people can interact via their phone. It really is great to be on your computer and involved in a session, but at times needing to just quickly get a QR code on your phone and vote quickly for something. And it just helps people to be active and move. So Mentimeter is another one you can check out. And Miro is just mind-blowing. It's just the most lovely technology that helps you to have multiple players live interact on what is essentially a very complicated whiteboard where people can make notes, scribble, they can interact with the same material. It is just fantastic.